So it is early morning, and I am sitting here enjoying a wonderful, wonderful cup of coffee that I am going to interrupt to record this video. And this is a topic that has been on my mind for quite some time, and I'm not quite sure why I haven't taken the opportunity to do a recording on this particular topic, but the moment has struck me, and I want to make the time now. And by the time I finish, I have a feeling that my cup of coffee will be cold, but we are going to persevere nevertheless. And what I'm going to attempt to do is to peel an onion on a topic. And I want to do it in an attempt to maybe improve how we are operating as a community. That's my hope. And at a minimum, my hope is to maybe improve a couple of individuals. And maybe those individuals will influence other individuals, right? A ripple in a pond. So we're going to see whether we can, we're going to try to make some magic. We're going to see whether we can do it. And ultimately, you guys are going to tell me whether magic has been made or not, whether I missed the mark or whether I hit the mark in the comment section. But I want to talk about when I first came back into comics back in 2017, early 2018. And this is a time period that I've spoken about previously. And it's an important time period because in many ways, this period has influenced a lot of the things that I've done with the channel. They have influenced also my thinking around the hobby, as it were. And, I've spoken about this, but I want to kind of continue to layer on to this time period because there were so many important lessons that were learned during this time period that have influenced me. I remember having conversations with people in those early days that made me feel stupid, made me feel less than. And these conversations were taking place with people that had much more experience than I, because they had been in the hobby for a longer period of time. These conversations were had with comic shop owners that, again, left me feeling stupid. These conversations were had with people online. And I don't know if it was the intent of these individuals to make me feel less than, but that was essentially how I was feeling. I was a person that was newly back to comics, and I was being made to feel as if I didn't know anything. I was somehow invoking the ire of people by asking what I thought were really simple questions, and by making, I thought, really simple comments. I was made to feel less than because I mispronounced a word or because I didn't know a particular factoid about a comic or a character or a creator for that matter. I was made to feel less than because I didn't know that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four comics had two slightly different colors on the covers, one dark green, one light green. I was made to feel stupid about some of these things. And it left me feeling very uncomfortable and very unsure of myself. And again, I've kind of spoken about some of this before. So I also had some interactions online in some of the forums and things like that. And I was hesitant in many ways to even comment on some of the forum posts. And the reason for that is because as I read the comments, what I was seeing were two individuals that were going, sometimes more than that, going back and forth on a particular topic, debating this topic. And it was almost as if there was a game of, I gotcha. There was a game of, I'm going to pigeonhole you and I'm going to demonstrate to you and to anyone else reading this that you don't know anything. And the truth of the matter is what they were debating about did not even matter. And what I was left feeling was I'm reading this and I'm like, wow, these dudes are hardcore about something that I don't even care about. I could care less whether this comic had a light green or dark green tint to this little box up in the corner. Who cares? This is a hobby and it should be fun. But here I was being made to feel less than. Here I was watching conversations between grown people debating something where they are trying to prove to one another and to other people that they are smarter than everyone else. And I struggled. I struggled with that. I struggled with This notion of it being a community, but the community was, those that had the information and those that did not have the information, and those that did not have the information, which is like a lot of people, were made to feel less than. I struggled with that. I remember I recorded this one video, and in this video, I can't remember what I was talking about, but I was giving away secrets. I remember someone posted on the video, "You are going to regret that. You're going to regret giving away all of your secrets." I have never regretted it. I have never regretted giving away tips and things for people to consider that are designed to help improve someone's understanding of something. I have never regretted sharing some information that I have with someone else. I've never regretted that. I have, however, regretted not helping someone when I could have, because I was too busy or I wasn't thinking and missed the opportunity. Those are the regrets that I have, but I've never regretted helping someone. But there is this mindset among some people that information is to be hoarded. Information is not to be shared. There is a mindset that almost I am going to hold on to what it is that I have because that is my power. And if you don't have it, I'm going to point out that you don't have it. In my mind, that's not what this hobby is about. To me, that is not what a community is all about. What I've realized is that as I've matured in the hobby, there is a personal preference that people have for some of the things that they do. There is a personal preference for a particular cover. There is a personal preference for a way to collect. There is a personal preference for how to bag and board. People have personal preferences, and I think personal preferences are fantastic. But when that personal preference is passed off as rule, that's where there becomes a problem. The truth of the matter is that there is no wrong way to collect comics. There is no wrong way to do this hobby. If your way is not harming other people, is not detrimental, there is no wrong way to collect. I've had people say, "You shouldn't like Spider-Man." Why? Why shouldn't I? I've had people say, "You need to read DC." Why? Why must I? I've had people say, "You must use 3 backing boards and a poly bag for your collection." Why? Why is that the case? I've had people say, "You should not get your comics graded because you can't read them." Okay, that's cool. These are people's personal preferences that are being passed off as if they were rule. People's personal preference are basically being forced upon other folks. And if you are new to the hobby, you don't necessarily recognize that it's personal preference because you're probably hearing it from someone that has more experience than you, and you are being led to believe that what you're doing is wrong. It is not wrong to use 1 backing board if that's what you want to use. It is not wrong to get your comics graded if that's what works for you. It is not wrong to press and clean your comics if that's what you want to do. It is not wrong to collect Daffy Duck, Donald Duck, and any of that other stuff. There is no wrong way to collect comics. There is your way, and if your way works for you, cool, that's the right way. I've had people say to me, "You should not clean and press your comics." Why is that the case? And then you dig into it, and the person really doesn't have a great answer. The answer that I've oftentimes received is that's not the way that it should be done. Okay, says who? I've had people say, getting your books cleaned and pressed will result in that comic book actually breaking down. Okay, based upon what data? Show me the data. Show me the evidence that suggests that is the case. Show me the evidence that says that I have to use 3 backing boards because that's the right way. These are personal preferences that people have that are being passed off as rule, and there are no rules. This is a hobby. Hobbies should be fun. If you want to do something, do it. If you want to spend all your money on modern comics and variants, that's what you should do. If you want to buy Silver Age comics because that's what makes you happy, that's what you should do. If you're into horror comics, then you buy those horror comics. This is a hobby, and hobbies should be fun. People should be allowed to do whatever it is that makes them happy. But when you're new, you don't necessarily fully appreciate that. And so that's like the point of this recording. This recording is to say a couple of things, man. There is no wrong way. Do whatever it is that floats your boat. And when you have conversations with people, don't be afraid to ask them clarifying questions. Is this wrong, or is this your preference? What data do you have that suggests that I shouldn't do it this way because this way actually makes sense for me? Seek to understand where someone is coming from before you just assume that what they're saying is the way that it has to be. Because if you don't, you will be waxing and waning and vacillating and second guessing yourself and probably not even enjoying the hobby as much because you're listening to what other people are actually telling you to do because it's their personal preference. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope that maybe I sparked a thought. Hope that I maybe sparked a thought somewhere out there. I don't know. We'll see. But I felt that it was important to kind of record this video again because I remember those early days and I remember how I was left feeling when people would respond to me, respond to a question, respond to a comment that I made. I found myself second guessing myself. And that wasn't cool. And it took me a while to realize that what they were talking about was their personal preference. So my hope is that this video has helped someone out there in some way, shape, or form. As always, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this recording. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so. Regie Collects on Instagram or regiecollects@gmail.com. Take care.